Welcome to the Get Better Project, where your host Joe Bauer interviews the world's top fitness, endurance, and strength athletes to figure out what has propelled them to the top of their game.
Let's be great. Let's be great.
Listen, learn, and start getting better today. Here we go.
All right, welcome to the Get Better Project, where I'm excited to have Jeff Evans on the podcast today. Jeff is a CrossFit Games athlete, multi-time regional athlete, super strong dude that I've been admiring for quite some time now. So, Jeff, welcome to the podcast, and how you doing today, man?
I appreciate it. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, nice. I'm excited to have you on the podcast. Like I've mentioned before the show, I've admired you for some time, and I'm excited to have you on, talk to you. And I know that a lot of people at my gym way over here in Seattle were excited to hear that I was going to have you on the podcast. So this is cool stuff, man. I'm excited.
Sweet.
Yeah. So just to jump right in, can you give me a little bit of your background? How did you grow up? How did you get into fitness? And then how did that turn into, your CrossFit and then now your lifting career? So I'd love to hear about that.
So I grew up in Fort Myers, Florida. I kind of got into fitness when I was in ninth grade. I started playing football. All my friends were playing. I didn't grow up playing football, so track was kind of my big thing. Super fast kid. I was always the one like running around everybody. But started ninth grade. I was a little depressed because I grew up kind of in the hood type thing. My dad was super strict, and they were always working. My mom and dad got divorced and stuff, so it just put me in a mindset of, I wanted more. So I kind of guess that's why I started working out.
Mm-hmm.
And it helped me with my depression a lot. Like ninth, 10th, 11th grade, had a lot of suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. When I was 13 in middle school, actually, my stepdad walked in and I was actually trying to strangle myself.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
I was really depressed. So working out was my outlet. So I've been doing it ever since. I've kind of never taken a break. I think it's like 16 years of lifting weights. It was always something I was good at. Even in ninth grade, I was deadlifting like 315 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was always trying to compete with the older guys that were on varsity and stuff. And but no real like technique was involved in it. It was kind of just like bro sesh, kind of get in there. Coach would, tell us what to do and just throwing weights around.
Yeah, for sure.
But senior year, I switched to receiver. I ended up getting a full scholarship to Southern Illinois University. Played all 4 years there at receiver. And I dealt with a lot of injuries and stuff. But same thing, I was always like one of the strongest guys on the team as far as skill players, and just stuck with that, especially when I was injured, just constantly working out. And I got my degree in kinesiology. I knew that was something I always wanted to do, like personal training and stuff. And graduated in 2011. That next day, flew right back home, got a personal training job. I think 6 months at LA Fitness. And then it was an upscale gym that was in town that I always wanted to work out when I was, back in high school and stuff. So I ended up getting a job there. Worked there for 2.5 years, and we started CrossFit there. And one of my good friends, he was from California, and told me about CrossFit. I did the open, I think, in 2012. I finished like 100 and some place, and was like, all right, whatever. And I think 4 months after that, I trained a month, did my first competition like live in Miami, and got third overall. Noah Olson was there actually. He ended up bombing one of the workouts, and he ended up getting fourth or fifth, and I beat him because he was like the guy that was, supposed to be on top or whatever.
Nice.
So I was hooked after that. Won like $200 and I was hooked. And last 5 years I was at either regionals or made the games in 2014, like you said earlier. And that's pretty much it. That's kind of how I got here.
Cool. So how long did you say you've been doing CrossFit then, or had been doing CrossFit?
Yeah, 5 years. Last year after regionals, I kind of took a break and it started back up, and I was kind of just burnt out on it. And business-wise, just kept pulling me away. I was, I really want to be like a legit business person, and it kind of pulled me away.
Cool. So do you consider yourself a CrossFitter now, or a lifter? What do you consider yourself?
Yeah, now I'm just doing Olympic lifting. Like, as you know, like I've always been one of the top 2 guys in lifting with the CrossFit Games and stuff. And it's something I always love doing. So now it's a lot easier to train doing just that. I don't have to worry about handstand push-ups or anything, running a mile or whatever.
Cool.
But yeah, I won states last year in 105. I got first in that and then second overall with the Sinclair in Florida. So
Nice.
now
What
focus on training.
Yeah. Do you have any current goals around weightlifting you're trying to achieve?
Last year I finished 10th or 11th in the country. I'm trying to hit top 6 by the end of this year, and then hopefully hop in that top 3, top 2 by next year, the end of next year. Because if I can stay consistent, not get injured, and keep getting the gains I'm getting right now, I feel like I can hop in that number 1 spot before the Olympics.
Wow.
Now I have it's a time crunch, but I feel like I can do it.
Yeah, man. How much time do you spend training for Olympic weightlifting? And then conversely, how much different is that than when you were doing CrossFit?
Right now I would say 2 to 2.5 hours of weightlifting, and 45 minutes to an hour is just warming up because It's so heavy. Like my reps are so minimal. I hit 2 sets of 1 or 3 sets of 1, or it's so small or low on the volume compared to CrossFit. Like I would spend close to 4 or 5 hours just training and warming up and recovering just for CrossFit because I am a bigger guy. So I had to cram in a lot of stuff volume wise for gymnastics. Like I had certain goals like 200 pull-ups in a week, 150 chest bars in a week, 200 handstand push-ups. It's just because I'm so big. Like I need to condition that.
Yeah.
Same with cardio stuff. I really, the last 2 years, stopped lifting anything over 80%.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't lifting at all like that, and I was still hitting PR, so it was a good thing, I guess.
Wow. It's kind of interesting because I've been having some conversations with other athletes lately and talking about like how maybe if you're not strong enough for competitive CrossFit, you need to get strong and just focus on that and then bring your engine back or your cardiovascular training back, maybe a year or 2 years down the road if you really want to be good at competitive CrossFit. Do you think that's true, or what do you think about it?
I think I just seen yesterday, Ben Bergeron just put another thing out about you have to hit certain numbers to make regionals and games as far as the weights. So if you're not hitting them, it's going to be hard for you to pass even the open. I mean, that one workout where it's heavy you can get knocked out so quick. Yeah,
for sure. So how many, you mentioned that you have like 45 minutes that you spend just warming yourself up. If your day then consists of doing singles and working up to this really heavy weight at this point, how much time do you think you spend with accessory work versus strength work or like what are you doing in order to get ready for those lifting days?
Accessory wise, I do a lot of bodybuilding stuff in my coach programs.
Okay.
Kind of me and my coach program for myself. But like a lot of isolation work just to constantly build the muscles up and make sure I'm even because I tore my pec back in 2011. So that side has always been kind of lagging behind.
Okay.
And then straining my pec in regionals last year, I'm still making sure that's, on point.
Yeah.
Just making sure everything's, kind of even and stuff. And I do all my accessory stuff after I do my Olympic lifting.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. Was it the same pec both times?
No. I tore my right one right out of college we always did wide grip bench press, and that's when I tore that. And then the left one at regionals. Damn. And I straightened. So it only took 3 weeks. Like the 4th week, I think was bacon beat down a competition in Daytona.
Yeah.
And I randomly hopped in and hit 18 unbroken muscle up. So my pec was good. 4 weeks. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a bummer that happened. I would have loved to see you just continue crushing that one.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I could break 2 records. The first workout, I finished 10 spots than I thought I would. I was in better shape than I thought I was. So.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome.
It was good for me. It was a good mindset lesson. Like I can, focus on like that next play mentality. Like I don't hold on to stuff a lot, so I can move on and just focus on what I need to. The same thing in 2016 with the rope climb. Mm-hmm. Like everybody else is more pissed than I was. I just focus. I'm like, all right, I just got to get back at it, happen, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great attitude to have because what can you do,
Just get better.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that you're a big guy. What's your height and weight?
6 foot right now. I'm 230.
Wow.
Yeah. I put on 17 pounds since I started doing keto. because I had this theory about weightlifting and keto. So I've been testing it out, but I put on 17 pounds.
Okay, so I've been excited to talk with you about this. So what made you decide to get into keto?
So a lot of people do it just to cut down weight and kind of get shredded.
Yep.
And I seen Mark Bell. He did it to kind of shred down. And he's saying he's getting a lot stronger. And one of the strongman guys from Europe, he did the same thing, got super shredded. He's huge now, but no big belly and all that. But I was thinking about him, like, I wonder if I can just bump my calories up enough so I can gain muscle and weight and keep my body fat low. I started doing it as a bodybuilding kind of routine, 6-week challenge. But when ketones break down, they break down in ATP essentially. So that's what you use for Olympic lifting. Like, your lift is less than 2 seconds, a second, you know?
Sure.
It's super fast, and that's what you need for Olympic lifting. So I feel like as long as I got enough ATP in my system, and I'm with training, you're taking 3 to 5 minute breaks, and that's what you need for ATP to restore.
Right.
So for me, it made sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've been actually playing with an idea of trying to figure out if there are more and more athletes out there that are doing keto, because there's not a lot of information really that's coming from that area. And I'm even interested. What's that?
It's all on weight loss.
Yeah, it's all on weight loss. And you know, like, I've played a little bit with like the supplemental ketones and things like that to, you know, open up that energy system. But the question is that I'm trying to still figure out, and I might do a personal test on this myself, is could a CrossFitter do that? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I've been telling everybody that the supplement ketones, that if you add both of them, carbs and ketones, I feel like that might be a good way of doing it. But I don't think keto would be good for CrossFit, because you're converting back and forth between energy systems.
Yeah.
Too much, like, you might go from running a 2K, hopping off and maxing out on a clean. Like, that's 2 different energy systems. So I think you'll end up burning out. But weightlifting, powerlifting, and then super, like, ultra marathons and stuff, I feel like those 2 extremes, it makes sense.
Yeah.
At least the studies I've seen on athletes.
Yeah, I know. And I've been trying to talk with some other people that are smarter than myself and asking this question as well, and trying to figure out if they have a good answer. And I'm getting kind of a mixed bag of results as far as the answer. And it kind of comes down to, is like, man, I should just commit to trying it myself and then see what happens and do some blood testing and whatnot. And that actually gets me to it. Like, how are you testing yourself for ketones on a regular basis?
When I first started, I did 3 times, and I was in keto once. Okay. But I also started with 50 grams of carbs, because I was doing 4,200 calories. Yeah. I was at 383 grams of fat, 200 protein, and 50 carbs. That was my 75, 20, and 5%. But now I recently tried to cut down to 20 carbs. The last 3 weeks, I've been trying to cut down to 20 carbs. Okay. Bump my fat up, and my protein is still about the same, because I'm trying to get up to 240 now. Damn. Yeah. I need to train at 240 and then be able to cut down for my meets. Okay. And do you consider your fibrous carbs as well in that? Yeah. Yeah. And I know they, like, greens net lower, so I can kind of eat more carbs on that, and then I know it cuts down. Yeah. So how many greens do you think you're eating in a day? Maybe like 30 grams worth. Okay. Of carbs. I would say about 30. It's mainly broccoli and cauliflower, because with Fias, we do a lot of broccoli and cauliflower in the meals. Yeah. Like, I might grab a paleo meal, so it's high protein and the carbs are still low from the greens, but I'm still getting them in. And I also take green supplements. Okay, cool. Yeah. I've heard from some bodybuilders, they're talking about how they've even cut out all the greens, and I don't know how I feel about that, but yeah, I feel like you need to get all the vitamins and minerals from that stuff, and then taking fiber if you do cut it out. That's important. Because when I was doing keto, like, me and Chris, we started keto together, and the fiber part we were missing out on big time. Yeah. That was kind of jacking us up a little bit. I bet. When you're on this ketogenic diet, do you have any type of quote unquote cheat days? Yeah, I still drink alcohol and stuff like so beer
Okay.
when I'm feeling it, but I try to drink mainly tequila and gin.
Okay.
I want to go out and have fun and stuff. So I've kind of like pulled back on being super strict on it. But
Okay.
Sunday I start because I have to gain this weight. I got to gain 10 pounds, so I need to be super strict and follow. I have to bump it up another 500 calories a day.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm at 40. I'll be at 4,700 calories, so it's adding an extra 40 grams of fat and a little bit extra protein.
Is that all through food, or do you supplement as well?
Well, I do one big shake at night, which is 120 grams of fat and 56 protein. That's my
Man.
final meal before I go to bed.
What's in the shake?
Just 2 scoops of protein and MCT oil. I do 8 tablespoons of MCT.
Holy smokes. And you can stomach that?
Yeah, I mean, when you add 2 tablespoons of, and I do water in it too, but
Okay.
you add 2 tablespoons, it makes it real thick so you don't taste the oil.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's easy. I'm used to it now.
Yeah. Did you ever have stomach problems with MCT?
Yeah, because I wasn't adding enough protein in it to make it thick enough, so I didn't taste it. It was kind of weird on my stomach.
Okay. So that was the key.
Yeah, so especially when I first started, like if I didn't have enough, like it'd kind of mess my stomach up. So
Yeah.
making sure I make it thick enough and then I can just down it quick.
Okay, cool. I have to let people know. I know a lot of people that have trouble with MCT oils.
Yeah, and like we used to do a lot of heavy cream, but that has carbs in it, so we had to wash that, and I kind of cut that all the way out.
Okay.
So for dairy, I only do really cheese.
All right.
Yeah.
Did you have problems with dairy other than the carbs, or just for
No, I thought I would because I used to, drink milk and eat cheese and all that stuff, and I thought it was messing my stomach up, and I cut it all out when I started really eating good for CrossFit. And when I put it back in, the cheese and the heavy creamness, I didn't do milk, just cheese and heavy cream, and my stomach wasn't messing up from it. So it was mainly CT oil because it can go through all your tissues so fast and kind of hit you pretty quick.
Yeah, cool. So you're gonna go from up to 240 pounds. What
Yeah.
what did you say your calories are gonna be? And do you know what about your body fat percentage will be about at that?
I'm trying to keep it under 10% body fat at 240. If I
Wow.
can, I feel like that'd be pretty solid. My whole thing is I want to look like a bodybuilder when I'm Olympic lifting. I don't know. It's kind of what I'm testing out at the same time.
Yeah, why not?
407 or 4,700 calories should be about where I need to be to start gaining weight again. Cause I had 4,200. I was supposed to be at 37 to maintain the 215.
Okay.
And I bumped it to 42 and start gaining weight quick. So I feel like if I add the extra 5, it should put me right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And you found that you're able to stay pretty lean when you're doing that and you're not really doing any cardio?
No cardio at all.
Wow.
Yeah. When I did that 6-week challenge, it was just bodybuilding exercises. I didn't do any Olympic. I was trying to get myself into working out again because I took a break from it after states. But if you go on my Instagram, you can see one of my before and after pics. Like I look freaking huge. And I cut down from 9 to 7% body fat in 6 weeks and gained 17 pounds.
Wow. Are you normally a lean guy, or do you have to work for it?
Yeah, I've always been before I started working out, I was always that kind of skinny, strong kid.
Okay.
Once I started adding all this isolation stuff, that's when I started putting on the size.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Real quick, getting back to the training stuff. Do you have any favorite recovery methods?
Sauna. That's a big one. A lot of people are missing out on.
Really?
Yeah. And it's funny because my coach there, so Fernando Reyes, he's 2-time Olympian from Brazil. Him and his brother, they coach me now, and they do the same thing. They hit the sauna after every session. I did it when I was doing CrossFit. That's a lot of people don't know about this, but that heat treatment when you're in the games, like that heat really gets to you. Yeah. Or when you're at regionals, like your body's pushing to the max, you start overheating, your body kind of takes away from focusing on the workout. Like the energy is going towards keeping your body cool and calm. So I felt like that was a big advantage. Like my body was always relaxed when I was at regionals and games.
Wow. How much time do you spend in the sauna? And is it a traditional sauna or infrared sauna? What is it?
Yeah, just regular sauna that, they have at LA Fitness and stuff. But I would do 30 to 45 minutes depending on the day and how long my training session was before that.
Okay. Do
If
you
it was super long, I would do 30 minutes. If it was longer, or if it was a short session, I would do 45 minutes and sometimes like air squats and push-ups in there just to keep my body temp up and force it to like calm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And do you increase your water consumption when you're doing that?
Oh yeah, big time. You can't go without that. I had a lot right now I had a lot of the pink Himalayan salt.
Yeah.
It's not stripped all the other minerals and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I take a green supplement that NutriKey has, and it has a lot of vitamins and stuff like that.
Okay. Do you know what your water consumption is daily by any chance?
Probably a gallon and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, I do all bottled water while I'm at work, and I just try to make sure I have all of them stacked up when I can.
Cool. And do you put the Himalayan sea salt in the water, or are you just taking it? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Half of the water, I'll put it in the bottles, or I'll just, if I have a big jug with me, I'll just put enough in there where I can taste it just a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Another thing with keto, you don't hold on electrolytes, because if you think about it, like I seen this cool little thing. They had a glass full of bread and a glass full of, or half full of MCT oil. They poured the water in. Oil and water don't mix, so you just shed the water so quick. That's where a lot of the weight loss is coming from when you do keto, is water weight.
Right.
The bread sucks right up.
Cool. Yeah. When I've been taking the supplemental ketones, they've talked about that as well, that you should definitely take some more, or they actually recommended the Himalayan sea salt as well, just so that your body has the replenishment of that, because it tends to dump those minerals out. The
first 2 weeks, I was cramping up so bad, and I didn't know that because I was still doing my research at the time, and then I started adding that stuff. But bad cramps, hamstrings, calves, feet, everything was cramping up bad.
Wow. So something that I forgot to ask you is, are you feeling mentally clear with the keto or the ketogenic diet?
I hear a lot of people talking about it. I haven't noticed.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really think about that. All I do is either work out or work all day. So I'm just kind of in my zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we've kind of talked about experiments already, but is there anything else that you've experimented with, like diet, training, recovery, et cetera, that you think has been interesting, that has worked or hasn't worked in the past?
For anybody out there, you kind of just got to play around with everything. I used to do only fish and veggies. I've done a normal carb athlete diet. I even thought about going vegan before keto, and I was like, nah, I can't do that. I like meat.
Yeah.
So maybe after I finish competing with weightlifting, I might get into the vegan thing. I feel like I've always been good at some of everything, sport wise, and I always wanted to test out different diets and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think that's super interesting myself.
Yeah.
So and this is a question that comes from a good friend of mine, and they wanted to know definitely, what aspects of being a high level athlete are most difficult for you?
I would say making sure you stay focused. If you have like me, I have to have, I have my own job and stuff like that. I got bills and stuff to pay. A lot of these top athletes, they started out living with their parents, so they didn't have to pay anything. It's just trying to mentally stay out of your head, knowing that they're in a better situation to train all day and recover. And I guess that's the biggest thing, just making sure you focus on yourself and getting your stuff done rather than looking at everybody else's situation. Sure.
Yeah. And what aspects do you think are the most fun for you?
Going through the grind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love it. I've always been that way, just put my head down and just work and work. I grew up, my parents worked all the time. My mom worked 3-4 jobs to provide for us. My dad, he's a barber. He has his own business, working 12, 13 hours a day. So I guess I got that from them. They're just constantly working, and I've always been like that. I enjoy the process. It's frustrating at times because I want it fast, and I know we can move faster at times in sports or business, and just making sure patience. CrossFit taught me a lot of patience.
Totally.
Especially in the beginning, yeah.
Oh man, I hear you. CrossFit's taught me a lot of things too, definitely. So you've talked about your pec injuries. Have you ever had any other injuries?
In college, I tore my meniscus. I had some bad ankle injuries. I broke my collarbone. I was always hurt in college. That kind of Mentally, if I was in the place I am now back in college, I feel like I would have been in the NFL.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like my mindset is like ridiculous, like strong right now because I study on a lot of self-awareness stuff and mindset books and the way champions think. Like that's how my mindset is now. And I didn't have that back in college.
Dude, that's
So,
awesome. Do you have any resources that you just love, just like you were mentioning there? Any others?
You mean like for mindset stuff?
Yeah, mindset's awesome.
I watch a lot of stuff on Gary Vee, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins. Like I've watched almost every YouTube video you can think of on
Heck
those
yeah.
guys. A lot of business ones like Grant Cardone. Like I watch a lot of stuff, and it's all mindset. Like just putting yourself in a spot where you just want that success so bad, you just gotta keep grinding away and doing what you need to do. You know.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And for those of you that are listening right now, I'm gonna put all of the information that Jeff's talking about right now in the show notes at thegetbetterproject.com/Jeff Evans, and we'll list all of these books and YouTube videos and whatnot because I'm a huge fan of those guys as well. So people should be reading about them, watching those types of things.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, if anybody wants to, they can hit me up on Instagram and I'll shoot them a snapshot of all the books because I listen to all my books like on Audible.
Mm-hmm.
So like I ride my bike to work. We live like 2 miles from one of our storefronts. So I just ride the bike to work and just have the iPod going on and just, learning session.
Hell yeah. I'm the exact same way. I love it. Audible is the way to go. Just constantly learning. It's like, I don't know about people that listen to music while they drive their cars. I'm like, man, I got to listen to my book or whatever podcast. Oh, that's so cool. So going back to the injury thing, I know that I've talked to a lot of people that have learned from their injuries and we all hate being injured. Was there anything specifically that you're like, man, are you the type of person that like looks back and thinks, I'm glad I got injured because of what I learned from that? Or are you like, no, that just sucked?
I mean, most of my injuries, like the pec thing in regionals, that was just like a freak accident, but also it was a mindset thing. Like I just got, am I allowed to cuss on here?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I was like, my mindset, as soon as it happens, like life is just shitting on me right now. 2 years in a row. But it was just more of like, can I handle this? Can I process it the right way and move on?
Yeah.
I feel like all of my injuries are more like mindset builders more than like, rehab stuff. I got my degree in kinesiology. I study a lot of stuff on movement. Like I know how to rehab myself. Mm-hmm. Talena Fortunato is a PT. Like she was from my hometown, so she worked on me, and I had the right people in place to heal. So it was more of a mindset thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And this is relevant for you for sure because you've had some of these difficulties, but as a high level athlete, did you ever, or have you ever felt like, man, I just want to give up on this?
Oh, damn near every day I feel like that.
Yeah.
But I just like my passion is fueled by my family. Like I grew up kind of in the hood and stuff. And like every night before I go to bed, I dream of like taking my mom and showing her brand new house. And same with my dad. He has a business. He wants to own the whole complex that his business is in. Like I dream of going up to him and telling him, look, this is yours now. Like that's what's pushing me right now. Like family is, I want to show them that we can do more. We're not just an average or below average kind of family thing.
Totally.
I'm just focused on that right now. Just, plugging away with this FIAS thing.
Yeah. So let's get into that a little bit. Like tell us more about FIAS and tell us more about like what you want to do from like an entrepreneurial standpoint.
Gotcha. So, like I said, Chris, he started it from the ground up. We're doing like 6,000 meals a week right now. We deliver all over Florida. We have like 6 vans that are refrigerated. We just opened our 3rd location. So everything's going good. Monday, we start shipping nationwide. So anybody can go on there, create an account for free. It's no minimum, no contracts, nothing like that. And we're about to work a big deal with Europa. So like say you go on our site, you can get your supplements and meals shipped right to your door.
Nice.
So I feel like we're about to change the game on meal prep because now you don't have to go to the store for either.
Sure. And what's your
go ahead.
What's your role within the company?
I'm kind of like a wear all the hats type of guy. Like okay. Chris he's the same way. I'm kind of right under him, learning how to run the entire business, from putting the menu together, ordering food, ordering supplements, events, marketing, social media, staffing all the locations, running payroll for them. If I got to do any of it, I hop in and work the stores, like pretty much everything.
Very cool.
Learning as fast as I can because, like I said, I want to be able to pull some stuff from him, and that way he can do more, and I can handle the basic stuff.
Yeah. What are the goals for the company as far as growing?
I think what we're trying to do this year, we want to have another location or two, one in West Palm, because that's our biggest. We have 40 gyms down there we deliver to. So we want to have one there, and then we have 30 gyms in Orlando. So we want to get at least one or two of those up, and then next year we want to have 10 stores total.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. And what does your typical customer look like?
Anybody, really.
Really?
Like we started, it was Fia's Paleo before Fia's Fresh Meals, but he did only paleo meals and only CrossFits. Now we're getting LA Fitnesses, bodybuilding gyms, because we do athlete meals and keto now too. So you kind of get everything, and we do by the pound. But we have, elderly people that don't want to cook or can't cook anymore. We have their family members coming and buying meals for them. Police, firefighters, any first responder. It just makes it easy,
Yeah.
And we have, if you look at any other meal prep company, we're hands down the cheapest for the quality of food. Yeah. Most of our meals are $8.50 to $10.50. And we use grass-fed, free-range, organic whenever we can get it cheap enough. Like we're USDA certified, like all the, bells and whistles behind it.
Cool. And have you been with the company since it started, or when did you get involved?
Almost 3 years ago. I was an athlete. Then I became a sales rep about 2 years ago for the Southwest Florida, where I was at. And then I moved over 5 months ago to work full time with them. Okay.
And somebody, was that?
Now I'm a small owner. He gave me a small ownership in the business. Yeah. So it's definitely worth it.
Okay. Very cool. And somebody as, big an athlete as you can get what they need from them.
Yeah.
As far as like ordering like a large meal is going to get you up to 240 pounds.
Yeah. So like me, because the kitchen is right down the road, the chef can kind of make me, Chris, and, all the employees, we can kind of get custom meals or whatever. But usually I'll grab 4 of the meals that they have like pre-made already. And then I'll add the shake and the MC2 oil for that to make up for the missing protein and fat.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that I'm bumping it up, I'll just probably end up adding another shake. I mean, it's 500 calories. The shakes I do are like 1,000 calorie shake. So I just do half of it and I should be good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So as far as like your training, your nutrition, your lifestyle, all that stuff goes, if there was somebody that's like trying to get to where you've been before, do you have any 1 or 2 things that you think is the biggest things they should focus on?
I would say you have to be patient, because it's going to be a process. You're going to be behind on something. Like mine was gymnastics and cardio because being a bigger athlete. So I really had to be patient and focus on, nitpick at little things and really tune them in my training to get to where the other guys were. Mm-hmm. So patience will be the biggest thing. And then, like I was saying a second ago, with understanding where you're at and what you actually need to do programming wise to get there as fast as you can, and staying injury free.
Yeah. And so there's so many different programs out there and whatnot. And, obviously they're not completely fit for everybody. How would you have somebody go about doing that? Do you think that everybody needs to have a personal coach that's programming specifically for them, or what do you think?
So I was with Invictus for 2 years. I was with Hyperfit for 2 years. And then the last year I kind of blended those two together with my own little style, because I knew exactly what I needed at that point. Mm-hmm. I guess you kind of got to try different coaches' program. If you want to just follow a basic template, you just got to understand what you really need to work on and add that as accessory. So like I was saying, like I had minimums. If I didn't get 200 chest of bars in my program with my coach, then I knew I had to add more, like EMOMs and 100 chest of bars for time, or 75 strict handstand push-ups for times. And I would log all my times and then make sure I'm getting better and faster at them and being in the right positions. So.
And how did you come up with those numbers?
Just by seeing what regional workouts were like during the open, like, it's going to be 120 to 150 pull-ups at some point, or chest to bars. So I looked at the highest volume of chest to bars, and that was my number. Like, I did a lot of research on this stuff. I needed to be able to handle that because those were my weaknesses. Getting through the open, it was usually one workout that always killed me, and I would end up being at the bottom like that bubble athlete. But as soon as I got to regionals, that's when I turned it on because everything was a little heavier and I was able to keep up,
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I figured all that out. I was basing it off of open numbers and then looking at regionals when that was done and just kind of conditioning those numbers.
Okay. Very smart. And how did you do your conditioning as a bigger athlete? How did you know how much you needed?
I know I needed a lot. Like, I would do 2 or 3 runs a week on a true form. Same 2 or 3 rows. Sometimes with vests on the run. The gymnastic stuff, like I was saying, I did my research and wrote down every number, like a minimum amount, whether it was a 10-minute EMOM of 12 chest to bars every minute, or pairing it up like 6 chest to bars, 6 handstand push-ups, or just doing a straight shot. Like, one of my favorites was 100 chest to bars, 100 ring dips, 100 pistols. I will always do that one at least every other week to make sure I'm getting that straight volume, because he always does a 100s workout or a 50s or 75 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I always try to set it up like that.
Very smart, man. I like how you're very analytical about putting this together. I don't think a lot of people think that in depth about it. And they follow the program a little bit too much. And
everybody's going to respond different. Like, I remember me and Sheila, I'm blanking on her last name. She's a games athlete.
Sheila Barton.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Her nickname is Pistol. So we're in Tampa at an event for one of our sponsors, and we did the one regionals workout was like a 2K row and hang cleans and pistols at the end. And just understanding that, like, that's her wheelhouse. So I knew I needed more speed on mine. So that's one thing after she beat my ass in that workout at the last minute, like, I was like, I got to start working on more pistols. If she's the best at them or one of the best, like, I need to get as good as her.
Yeah.
So, like, little things like that. Or what was it, 2016 regionals, I think it was the one that was like power cleans and pistols, and Noah ended up coming back at the very end. I got top 3 in the workout, but, like, for me, it was mindset, like, I didn't get first because of my pistols. Like, they just fell apart.
Okay.
So little things like that, it's just always in the back of my mind, like, I need to train on these a little harder, get faster.
Yeah.
And that's why I was able to keep up on the gymnastic workouts as a bigger guy.
Cool. And as you're doing these extra things and making sure that you're hitting all of your weaknesses and whatnot, how do you deal with the possibility of overtraining or overreaching?
As long as you're eating enough, I don't feel like there's no such thing as overtraining. Like, I was doing sauna and I was stretching. I did 2-hour massages a week.
Okay.
Making sure I eat all the food I need to, hitting the calories. So as long as you're eating enough and doing all the stuff outside of training, I feel like you can train as much as you want. Like, everybody kept getting on Rich Froning about doing 12, 13 workouts a day or whatever. But I'm pretty sure he was eating enough calories. Like, you see, he was drinking milk and eating pizza and burgers. Like, that's a lot of calories, even though it wasn't crazy good food from the stuff that they showed early on in his career. He was still getting the calories in.
Yeah. So are you eating a specific amount of calories during that time, or are you just eating as much as you can possibly get in?
I had my stuff timed out. So I would do 50 carb before a workout. And it was just legit carb powder for one of my sponsors. So I'll do 50 carbs and then 250 after, like in a big shake. I have to split it up into 2 shakes when I was doing CrossFit.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, so it was 300 total carbs on just that workout. Because, I mean, I was working out 4 hours. Like, I would do legit like 6 or 7 parts of the workout. I'll take a little 20, 30-minute break and then start again. Same thing, start again.
Okay.
So it was just a lot of volume in a short amount of time, but I felt like I needed to train that way to keep my body fatigued. And towards the end, I will always do my Metcon right at the end when I'm dead tired.
Okay.
Because I felt like I would be like that at regionals, my body wouldn't be 100%. So.
Yeah. And did you usually train in the morning, afternoon, or evening?
Midday, yeah.
Midday.
I would get done with my last class at 10 o'clock and then warm up for 30, 40 minutes with CrossFit stuff and like crossover symmetry and foam roll and all that basic stuff. And then I would get right to it.
Okay. And was your cardio conditioning or cardio, metcon, and strength always in the same session, or did you split them up?
Sometimes I would do my cardio before work, but most of the time I would start with it just to get my body super loose. And then I would hit a gymnastic session, whether EMOM or just like a straight shot for time type thing. Then I would do some, if I did weightlifting, it wasn't like heavy. It was more like barbell cycling stuff. Yeah. And then I would get right into my metcon and then finish off with the isolation stuff. And like some of my accessory was like kettlebell swings with a 150 pounder or like 40 D-ball over the shoulders, little stuff like that to work my lower back because I did have a weak back because my hamstrings are so damn tight. So I was trying to stretch them out and condition it at the same time.
Okay.
That would be like my accessory work on top of doing dumbbell rows and tricep extensions, little stuff like that, bodybuilding.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So let's see. You've said that you like the sauna. You've said that you've like massage. Anything else that you do for recovery?
I mean, I've tried dry needling, but that was more for an injury. Cupping, I'd done that before. That was all right. Yeah. Big thing on my massage, my guy, he was certified in Thai Vedic yoga. So it was a lot of pushing in my joints and stretching me out along with the massage stuff. So it was a good mix of like the ART stretching. And it was kind of a mix of that. So I had, and like I said, 4 hours of getting massage. That's keeping your body nice and loose.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And who determined how many calories you were eating at that time?
I did, based on if I was tired or not.
Okay.
I kind of found that right amount of food after a while.
Okay.
I knew my volume of gymnastics, like tearing my back up as far as muscle wise and my legs on pistols and weighted push-ups, just blowing my triceps up. Like I just hit a point where I was just dead tired. And especially even after the sauna, like I was still tired after that. Usually I felt good, but I would just try to start eating more and more. And then I figured out that 50 and 250 before and after was perfect.
Okay. And do you know, how about like total for the whole day, as far as like your macros and your calories went? Did you just experiment to get to that?
Yeah. As far as protein and fat, I had no idea. As long as I got that 50 and 250 in, I would just try to eat a good amount throughout the rest of the day.
Thanks.
So like now I count on my macros because I'm testing my little theory out on the keto stuff.
Yeah.
But back in CrossFit, I was just making sure if I felt like I was eating enough, I was good. I knew my body pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you ever think you'll get back into CrossFit?
I think I will when I'm a master. So
okay.
I'm 29 now, so I got 5.5 years.
Okay. And why is
the category? The main reason is because I have 2020 is the Olympics, so I'm really pushing to try to make the Olympic team.
Oh hell yeah! And
then after that, and I got 3 more years, so I'll get back into it. I'll be too old to compete with the young guys. They warm me out, so.
You never know, man. You never know.
I'll still have the strength behind it, so.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I don't want to take too much more of your time there, Jeff. Is there anything else that you think would be important for the listeners to know about you or your training or your philosophies over the years?
Now we kind of hit everything. Like I said, the big thing is just patience, understanding your body, being real with yourself. If you feel like you're weak at something, try to dissect it how you need to get better at it as quick as you can.
Sure.
And like I said, if anybody wants to hit me up, they can hit me up on Instagram. I answer everybody. And like I send out free workouts and stuff like that, advice, whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Let's do some self-promotion. What is there anything else that you want to promote at this point? Go for it.
Like I said, with the FIAs, it's fiasfreshmeals.com. This Monday, we start shipping nationwide, so you can get it right to your doorstep. I think it's, what was it, Chris? 12 to 14 or 12 to 25 meals is like the minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the breakdown is like.
And then we offer paleo keto athlete meals, so you definitely check that out.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody listening should definitely check that out. I'm gonna let my gym know for sure.
Takes out $180 a meal.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
what do you say?
It breaks down to about under $8 a meal.
Damn.
Pretty
Yeah.
cheap. Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Very cool. Very cool. That's a great deal for those of you listening right now. So you should definitely check that out. Well, Jeff, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, I've been a big fan for a long time, and I, hope to get to see you train and work out more and more. I follow you on Instagram, and I recommend everyone else does as well. So thank you so much for being on the show, and
Anytime, dude. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon, my man.
Definitely.
Thank you for listening to the Get Better Project, hosted by Joe Bauer. If you'd like to leave us a podcast review, head over to the getbetterproject.com/iTunes. Now get going and take action on something that will make you better today.